afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacaster from your host, Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda Hero Psych, Defender of the Fatherland. Off here to an exciting 1 vs 1 on Faymonville approach from the north. We got here Luvnest fighting for the Soviet Union, Socialism, Comrade Stalin taking on the role here of the glorious 6th Tank Corps, tasked with shattering the fascists under the command of insane Spanky, fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland, the 1st Infanterie Division, East Prussian, with Jaeger Infantry, Mobile Defense, Blitzkrieg, Triple Infantry versus Luvnest, Armoured Assault Tactics with machine guns, T-35 bulletins, and mine bulletins. A supporting company out here of Luvnest with infantry out there as Spanky here goes for a more standard MD-42 Grenadier build here to challenge the Russians to a titanic might of dominance somewhere on the Ostfront. Grenadier stepping out there. So far, of course, the challenge beats to sort of get out resource as much as possible. We can see in this case he... Wait, why were they shooting at the house? That's a first. There's just a random shot. Mein Gott, there's something in there short! That was a coat hanger, Ludwig. A coat hanger. On the Eastern Front, the Russians don't even have coats. They do, you racist. Are you accusing me of racism? That's what this was about anyways, you idiot. Stop calling me an idiot, you idiot. No, you. Anyways, Grenadiers on the way there for Spanky. We got the maximum almost done there for Luvnest. Trying to get the centre victory point, both sides gaining fuel points there. So Luvnest is going to aim for a strategy that's going to basically try and constrain Spanky as much as possible. Of course, pressuring up there, denying Spanky as much utility out of his infantry as Spanky here. Well, I mean, he's going for the standard Wehrmacht strategy, except we'll do the same. You'll push ahead aggressively, try to keep his opponent down, build as much territory as you can actually give something, and then pull, for vehicles and armour. Grenadiers to under fire from the Maxim, a water-cooled machine gun. Being pushed back here. Nothing further going on there for Spanky. They'll probably another Grenadier squad. He could go for the mortar here. Second mortar out there for Luvnest. For the motherland, Pioneers just securing territory on the north here quite nicely. MD-42 covering up here. Of course, a bit of a risky situation to have the machine gun in him, but I mean, he's just not doing anything, which is always something you need to be careful about in the early game. I find even if it's a really, vital spot, the problem is that's 260 manpower, which could be hurting the opponent elsewhere and make it hard for him to use his infantry, of course. With Maximus about, it might actually be better in the house, but even then, there's the slight issue here because he needs to be careful how long he keeps it in there because any retreat path will be right in front of the enemy. There is no back door here. Who built this house? Did not know the concept of back doors, didn't care about them. More control away there for Luvnest, having gone for the double Maxims. Mortar out here for insane Spanky in the early game to counter the Maxims. Of course, now better versus early, units inside buildings. Of course, less impressive for the Wehrmacht otherwise in most situations, but still pretty good. One would argue. More control away there for Luvnest. Shots being fired here. Grenadiers versus conscripts. A few shots here and there. On north, Maxim is stopped by the MD-42. A well few placed burst there, pushing the Russians back. And there you go, push for the cutoff point. And wiring off here the path here, making it harder here for Spankers to try and move through there easily. Nice move there. Got a third Grenadier squad there for Spankers. We're seeing a triple Grenadier built with MD-42s and mortars versus double conscripts and double Maxims from Luvnest. Well, obviously, Luvnest is going to go for a mortar to counter Spanky's mortar. Of course, just make it hard for Spanky to use his stuff. I mean, the Soviet mortar also works better. But there you go. Luvnest changes up the tactics here. Moves the machine gun ahead. Now there's something to spot ahead with the Pioneers. So good. They've got the Maxim behind heavy cover. Not a mortar. The Maxim should be able to beat the MD-42. So far now they're seeing either here. Troops being stalled here. Mortifying the Maxim. Doing quite a bit of damage. As you can notice, it's actually very much lower in health than it normally would have been. Much more swiftly forced out here by the mortar. In part because, of course, the small size of the house just makes it even more effective there to mortar it because cramped conditions just mean the area effect just does a lot more. But there you go, pressing northwards here, sandbags up to make it harder for Spanky to counterattack. Very good. Not sort of a lower team, intermediate level players I think tend to underestimate the power of just having sandbags in the right places. They can really just turn a game engagement around, particularly here. But there's not actually any sort of heavy cover, so any attack here is going to be really painful for Spanky, for example, to commit to. But there you go, moving ahead with the Grenadiers. No mortars yet for Luvnest and Spanky going for a 4th Grenadier squad. Could very well be he's planning for a tier 3 rush, which I would say so far at least has slightly dropped off comparatively since the 2-2 got buffed, and even the Panzer Grenadiers got buffed a bit with the Panzership cost decrease. There's been a lot more tier 2 play, but interesting enough, seems like Spanky so far is not caring for it. instead committing to a heavy tier 1. Very heavy, in fact, with 4 grenadiers, MG42 and a mortar. Luvnest, meanwhile, there, not quite as committed. I mean, we can see they hit 26 versus 44. Spanky is heavily committed. Luvnest here is going for a very interesting strategy. He's not going just for the supporting company, he's going for a special rifle command. So both players are essentially committing to a heavy tier 1, but from a solo player to go for this kind of heavy tier 1 is extremely rare. You normally don't see this kind of strategy from a solo player at all. I mean, it does help in this case. Of course, he knows his opponent's committing to it thanks to radio intercept. He knows Spanky hasn't, teched up, I think, because he's been able to, pay attention through this. Not been hitting any sort of, emissions about it. So, of course, Luvnest is able to commit to this strategy in part because he knows Spanky is committing to heavy tier 1 as well. He's not teched ahead so far, so there's going to be no immediate punishment here for Luvnest with a sniper. Still, this is quite interesting in terms of early gameplay from both sides. Again, very heavy tier 1 versus heavy tier 1 from the Soviets, and definitely not usual. And here we come to going to do called wiped here. Spanky here, I think, yeah, too slow or wiped here. Bit of awkward unit preservation there, expertly punished by Luvnest, who was otherwise still on the defensive just from Spanky's intense infantry assault. And of course, the mortar here is ending up doing quite well. Of course, the difference between the old armoured mortar and the new one is you basically have to rely a lot more on barrages. The auto-fire is just basically a lot less potent. But as you know, the barrage with the armoured mortar, you'll generally be well off. Oh, holy smokes, that was a good hit there, though. Almost took out Spanky's Maxim. Pushing the south here. Up north, you got pressure as well here, as Luvnest, I think, is trying to probe Spanky's front line to figure out where Spanky is and that way to make some good gains, where they can, find a weakness in the lines, which is very much how the Soviets in large extent operated at times. They just, probe the entire German front line, find the weak spot, and then just break through there because the Germans couldn't efficiently cover it all, which is also why the Germans were like fire brigades essentially just trying, prop up all of the gaps the Soviets would create. So slow moving here. We got flare mines down here. Not as expensive as regular mines, but can sort of also give Luvnest some reconnaissance on Spanky's movements. Spanky is finally taking up there, very good. I mean, if he's planning the tier 3 rush, he needs to commit to it. We got regular mines going up then before moving ahead here. Bit on its own, I would say, is not too good there for Spanky long term. In this case, he spots the engineers that are laying down the mines. My God, Ludwig, sorgen these Russians? It's time to mine. Haha. Not on mine watch. Oh, I'm so funny. Ooh, nice bunch up there, and good rifle grenade there from Spanky, punishing that reasonably well. And I do believe he's in fact going for that tier 3 rush. Yup. Very predictable. Luvnest should be able to sort of ascertain that and might be able to punish him by just committing to some light vehicle play to that way aggressively punish Spanky then for just rushing here there. I mean, he does have mobile defense, which can give him a Puma to sort of help deal with that, but long term that could have its problems because Luvnest can hit that with T-35s, and while Pumas can work sort of as regular medium tanks to an extent if you handle them well, they do tend to struggle versus the, say, the doctrinal premium medium tanks, which can really give the Puma a run for its money simply due to usually having more armor or health, which limits the Puma's overall strength. So there's certainly some high-level mind games going on here between Luvnest and Spanky already. And it's quite interesting to see what's going on again. In this regard, Luvnest just has a massive advantage in radio intercept, which allows him to sort of peer into Spanky's head to a small degree. I mean, he can't see Spanky's plans directly, but he can sort of, gain a, shall we say, outline of them. Like, the plans are basically casting a shadow on Luvnest's wall, and Luvnest can sort of, judge a bit what the plans might look like based on that shadow, thanks to radio intercept. Or a bigger one, because something can sort of ascertain from what the opponent's going for, but radio intercept just gives them a bit more extra layer there, more detail. Anyways, hitting off mine there. Good mine there by Luvnest, by the way. Good mine. And support McCall going up here from Spanky. Again, if Luvnest didn't know what was going for before, should be able to get that bit then again. No, what Spanky and the 1st Infantry Division is playing at. But he's actually gone for Blitzkrieg here. An interesting choice. Apart from would have figured he might have gone for Jaeger Infantry. I mean, he's got a lot of grenadiers, and typically as part of a heavy tier 1 rush, you want to go for G43s, so that way you push the grenadiers. It's harder. But interesting enough, that is not what Spanky's committing to. In fact, he's going for snipers now. Probably to counter Luvnest sniper here. Of course, they've been a bit nerfed, but of course are still potent if you know how to use them. And of course, in this regard, it does kind of punish Spanky for not going for tier 2, because if he had it, he could have gone for 2-2 to him, easily now race down the sniper. Part because, you know, he doesn't suffer a penalty in dealing with snipers anymore. Thank the heavens. Grabbing points there, Sis3 on the way for the field gun, specifically the cracked machine gun. Basically didn't have it, you know, its bonus act then in fact suffered the penalties. So, you know, on top of everything else, that should make the 2-2 a lot better dealing with the snipers. Sniper out here for Spanky, so we got sniper on sniper action. Of course, right here, Spanky does have a tactical advantage with the sniper, which is, except he doesn't actually. Again, radio intercept tells Luvnest he's got a sniper, so even here, again, Spanky's at a sort of strategic disadvantage because Luvnest knows what Spanky's doing. Yes, capitalist dog. I know what you're doing right now, yes. Stop that! Stop that! No spanking your monkey! Niet! Niet! I need to wash my ears after this. Gonna do something about the flamethrower pioneers in the north here. Going for a sort of creep up move there. Basically using the grenades to draw the maximum fire. And there you go. Using tactical movement to quick rush in there to deny the maximum time to turn around to the other pioneers. Very nice move here. Also pushing it with the grenades, sneaking up behind. Luvnest as well with this move. Very good move from Spanky. Very good move. Though in this case the maximum is able to turn about. Pops, no, not quite fast enough. And there we go, could get the maximum up north here. It sets up automatically. Luvnest striking here because the attack down here basically acts as diversion. But the maximum does get away, Maximum push by the grenades got suppressed, but really some nice moves there from Spanky. Outmaneuvering Luvnest there because that Luvnest can't get radiant. Oh, the sniper got spotted by the grenadiers. Oh, almost got the sniper there. That was really close. That was really close. That could have gotten very ugly there for him. But there you go. He spots Spanky's sniper and deals with it, sends him running about then. Of course, now Spanky knows the Luvnest knows it, but again, he doesn't know of radio intercept, I think. We'll have to see if the Spanky at any point sort of catches on to, hang on, my opponent's got radio intercept, the bastard. Still some aggressive fighting around the centre north here between the two. South has been surprisingly untouched here between the two. And I imagine Spanky's going to try and push for a Panzer IV to that way gain a lead. And meanwhile, Luvnest, he knowing what his opponent's got, he's not going to try and hit it with light vehicles. Instead, he's going to push straight ahead for the mechanized armor company himself, trying to hit back at Spanky with the possibly T-45, which would be very interesting. And now we're going to see Spanky rushing southwards. He's going to hit the fuel point. Going to try and take advantage of the Luvnest's weaker center to just sweep through everything. A bold, aggressive move there from Spanky again. Malta, though, is doing quite well. Good work here for Spanky again. Good use of the barrages here versus Luvnest. Mine goes off. Push for the car point. We got the sniper nearby. Got an with the light machine gun. There we go. Petrov and Sergey fall in a matter of seconds here to a wombo combo. And in the south, Gunners comes with the Gunners need to retreat. They are about to get absolutely murdered. And Max and Watt, they neatly Spanky's going to seize it. Sniper there halfway to Veteran D2. Spanky getting very closer to the Panzer IV. Holding up behind heavy car, make much harder for Spanky, just shooting them down with the gun, light machine gun, make much harder for him to grab the point. Of course, the mortars help a bit. And there goes Spanky going for the Panzer IV. Luvnest here. Could soon go for the T-34-76, but he's more likely, I think, to try and push for the T-35, which will be superior to the Panzer IV. And of course, just be able to put some surge pressure on Spanky's infantry. Otherwise, it's just a much tougher target for Spanky's force to deal with Archdukes and Packs. And he's rushing out of Panzer IV. He doesn't have a tier 2, so T-35 right now is a really strong choice for Luvnest to counter Spanky. I mean, how do you say rushed out Stu? The T-35 would be less powerful. They're still good. But with a Panzer IV on the field and no packs, that T-35 is going to be bringing home the bacon here for Luvnest. Field gun wiped out here. And now you can call in the T-35. Panzer IV arrives here for Spanky for Germany. In the south, we got Pioneers coming in, moving in to try and hit the field point. Nameless is losing his northern one here to Luvnest, aggressive and ruthless harassment. He's going. Oh, scheiße, the Grenadiers! So close. Flares going off here. Killing poor Dietrich. And there you go, T-35 on the way there for Luvnest. Pushing for the base here. Spanky's feeling confident. Of course, you should be careful he doesn't end up feeling too confident, because Luvnest has got a surprise waiting for him. An 85mm surprise. MG34, they're very, very close to approaching Veteran 2. There we go. Increased suppression. In fact, now putting down unit snipers. We've got a massive carry up north. Fuel pumping security in the south. Fuel pumping secure in the first place. Victory points right now. Spanky's just seizing a large check on the map here from Luvnest. But now, Luvnest T-35 has arrived, ready to begin the counter-attack, comrades. Show me where the fascists are. I will crush them. I will run them over. I will shoot them with my machine guns. Well, Dimitri will shoot them with his machine guns, because Dimitri only knows how to do that. Idiot. T-35 moving up. I got a sniper hanging about here. In the south, we got Grenadiers versus a larger force here from Luvnest. T-35 though is rushing in aggressively. Imagine again, the only reason he's doing this is because he knows Spanky's got no way of punishing him for doing that to be out. He's got only a Panzer IV, which is currently damaged, and no packs. So I mean, this is to a large extent safer bet here for Luvnest, which again is basically predicated on knowing Spanky is going for a tier 3 rush. Of course, he's now closer to half health in this regard. Spanky decides not to, or Luvnest decides not to push it any further. But even then, I mean, on a lot of levels, this was overall a aggressive, but yet I would say well calculated decision there by Luvnest. I mean, there was no real way there that Spanky could have seriously punished him for that, unless he just got really lucky with that Panzer IV, and even that would have been pretty unlikely. Spanky now going for a lot of Grenadiers. He might actually really want to consider back-taking for a lighter mechanized company, to be honest. But so far he seems determined to make his tier 3 work there. My apologies. Been searching for a lot of replays there lately, because first patch, then hotfix, repeatedly wiping my replay archives. It fries my brain out a bit. More Grenadiers away there for Spanky. Point them, short Panzer IV rolling back. Needs to pull it really far back, then get it repaired out. I mean, Spanky needs to be super careful, because Luvnest again is very much capable of punishing if he's not careful. So there you go, T-35 there being repaired. Fuel drums down the sides for extra range, though usually they'd be empty by the time they're out on the battlefield. Occasionally that wasn't the case, in which case things got very ugly very fast for the crew enrolled. Not they wouldn't always need them. The T-35 in the T-35 generally had issues with reliability. Fun fact. And generally T-34 reliability is not something you hear a lot about, but was actually to an extent a problem throughout the entire war, though really a big problem. Early on it's stuck around throughout the entire war, if I recall correctly. North here we got the Grenadiers and Maxims. Luvnest trying to outmaneuver Spanky aggressively, though so far Spanky remains, I think, in terms of initiative here. But again, the T-35 represents a slowly growing problem, because if he can't kill that fast enough, that's going to likely be another T-35 out there. And again, he's only got one Panzer IV to stop this. He's going to need Stoops. He's going to need stronger shots. I could consider maybe a Panther. Oh, he ran over the sniper. Oh dear. Looks like Spanky wasn't paying attention. I mean, on some level, that's really, really awkward, you know. Losing a sniper to being run over. I hope not. Spanky's not trying to play for a second Panther. He is playing for another Panzer IV here. I'd call that an extremely bold decision, and possibly a slightly bad decision. I mean, sure, I mean, 2 Panzer IVs versus 1 T-35 will work out, but again, resource-wise, he's not too far ahead of Luvnest. He hasn't been able to deny him a ton of resource, and Luvnest can then follow up with a second T-35, in which case, again, the situation is back in Luvnest's end of the ballpark. So he really needs to commit to Stoops here, or back tech for packs, because I don't think Panzer IVs are going to win him here versus the T-35s. I mean, honestly, I think just even trying to tech for Panthers right now would be a better choice than committing to more Panzer IVs, and of course that would be pretty risky, since you just have to deal with 1 Panzer IV against 2 T-35s, which is not particularly favoured here for Spanky. But I think in long term is much better than trying to use 2 Panzer IVs versus an increasing number of T-35s. 7 kills to veterans who won. 3 kills, and we got air support in here from him. Not quite as potent anymore. Of course, you can't stick around the area for long, but it's less like just immediately wipe your stuff essentially. So it just creates more of a no-go, sort of really good ability to just, you know, ambush your opponent, I guess. But again, it's just not you call it and stuff dice right away. Panzer IV there, number 2 good to go. First one could do with some repairs. Spanky found himself a bit in the defensive here, and Luvnest can actually go for the second T-45 wants to. He could also try and set up for the IS-2, but I mean 2 T-45s now would be, I think, a lot better than one IS-2 down the road. And we could see a wipe here. Yep, and a light machine gun dropped. Bad news for Spanky, bad news for Deutschland. Getting a bit bold there with it. Straight to another MD-42 gun is bringing up more tactically crude. Bit of bad news there for Spanky. Panzer moving in, engaging it. He's trying to. Also trying to crash. There you go. Panzer flank down. And abandoning the field gun there. 2 T-45s or 1 Panzer 4. 2 Panzer 4s versus 1 T-45. There you go. Gaining veterans 1 here. Good chance of getting it. Might just wake up Spanky because Luvnest's too slow to calling in his other T-45. Very good chance now. Very good chance. Though you should try and avoid losing the Panzer 4 obviously. There you go. Got the T-45 there. Panzer moving out there. This is great for Spanky. Pretty bad for Luvnest. Had he been a bit faster with the T-45, this possibly wouldn't have happened. But now instead, he is short 1 T-45. Spanky's got 2 Panzer IVs and should be able to maintain this lead then quite nicely. So really good strike there by Spanky, catching Luvnest there off guard and just gaining a massive advantage with that. In this case, we can see Luvnest here responsible for basically going for a second field gun. It's going to help break up any sort of attempts at armoured attacks by Spanky, and can also punish him if he gets careless with his 2 Panzer IVs. Plus, just allows him to store better for future tanks. There you go, T-45 moving ahead here. Cover shattered. Machine gun, they're about to get wiped out by the T-45. Bad news there for Spanky if he loses that one. And there you go, it got wiped. It got wiped. In the south there, Maxim holding off the Russian engineers. In fact, right now, Spanky's got more Maxims than Luvnest, in part because Luvnest lost them all to Spanky and the 1st Infantry Division or Infantry Division. Going to try and recruit the MD-4 right in front of the T-45. A bold maneuver here. Panzer Force there being fixed up. But we're seeing particularly to lose the veteran one. Of course, the question is, what does Spanky go for next? Does he try and pull for Tier 4? More Panzer IVs, Stooks, command tanks. A lot of path here Spanky could take versus Luvnest. So we'll have to see what Spanky ends up with versus Luvnest. Noting he hasn't upgraded either Panzer IV machine guns, that's definitely something you should consider. I think some people underestimate just how useful pin up machine guns on your armor can be. In particular, the ammo is just really asking another dimension of just death through enemy infantry. Mortar here back in service for the 1st Infantry Division. Panzer IV there being fixed up. Mines down here, but that's going to be dealt here by the Panzer IV. Basically laid it down too close to the point, so I mean, it'd be pretty difficult to hide in the first place, but it just means the Panzer IV can shoot at max range. Still, it's going to get the fuel point rendered neutral at the very least. Up north, the machine gun being flanked here with the conscript with the light machine gun, tearing into them with fervour and fury. Push here for the send. There you go. Another tactical movement. I mean, Spanky's making really great use of tactical movement here versus Luvnest. He's really just pushing a lot of times. I mean, it helps. It's a pretty cheap ability. And there you go. Air support there to break up the assault there from Spanky's infantry. Good counter. Sniper the caught here. And he actually risks a bunch of grenades there to try and get it, but doesn't quite work out. Panzer moving from the south. But there you go. Hitting a mine, or at least an anti-tank grenade. Stuck in front of the T-45s and the field gun. Nets here. 1 kill for Luvnest. Punishing Spanky there, I think, for reaching with his panzers. In this case, he tries to steal a field gun. Goes for another Panther 4 in the end. Panther 4 moving up, trying to cover the retreat of the SIS-3 field gun. Smoking up there. Very good use of the smoke, by the way, right there. Simply to cover up the falling back of the SIS-3 there. Really nice work there. Really nice work. T-Flow moving ahead there. Panther 4 gaining eventually 2 shots and up. Making it a bit tougher. Bit more difficult to deal with here for Luvnest. And there you go, maximum tank through the SIS-3 field gun crew. Could see another wipe there. Air support though, threatening to cause problems. And field gun initiating weight gets wiped though by the air support. He's going to have to recruit that one again. As all this is happening, you can see that Luvnest securing the northern territories and the south. And there you go, another Panther 4 for Spanky, ready to take the field. More tactical movement from Spanky. He's really utilizing it a lot there. Amazing stuff. Certainly a lot more amazing than getting a sniper crushed by a T-35, that's for sure. He's trying to rush the sniper here with his gun but he's risking losing one hit. There we go. I think the sniper's proving to be a bit of a psychological thorn in Spanky's side here. It's causing, I think, Spanky to make some rash decisions. He's feeling like he's ahead, but he's actually not as far ahead as he'd like himself to be. But I think he's feeling a lot more ahead than he actually is, and it's causing him to make these, shall we say, less than amazing decisions at times. I think high-risk decisions. Partly because the sniper, I think, is just really ticking him off. .42 kills, another T-35 on the way there for Luvnest. Worth noting is Spanky is super short in infantry, down to just 2 grenadier squads, which I definitely think is below the accepted minimum here. You should get aim for 3. A 3rd grenadier squad help him out, though we could also get away with going for a Panther grenadier. In particular, since Luvnest just got conscripts with nothing else to them, a Panther grenadier squad here could be quite effective. Plus, useful in clearing out certain support weapons, and of course, with tactical movement, could be used to rush the sniper and wipe it quite efficiently. But there you go, more T-35 set here for Luvnest for the motherland, the Rodina. And there we go, SIS-3 opening up on the T-35, getting a decent hit. There we go, Luvnest, 2nd T-35 of them moving out. The North Panther slowly creeping here. A bit on his own, need to be careful here. Trying to catch that sniper, 45 kills. Really having an impact there on Spanky. That is for sure. And tactical movement again. He is really utilizing it a lot here. I mean, he's almost used... He's used a lot of the abilities of the dogs. I think the only thing he hasn't used is Conzo Flight and the command tank so far. And he's about to lose his Panther 4. Fall back. Spanky. Rückzug. Schnell. Oh dear. Oh, he got lucky. The field gun actually bounced a shot at that range. That is lucky. T-35 could still take it out. Shot bounced as well. Super lucky there for Spanky though. That was not the most well handled Panther move there otherwise. So that was really lucky that he got 2 bounces on a wipe. In particular those ranges. I mean, even with the armor buff there, it's still not that tough. In particular, those ranges is not that tough. There you go. Shot bounced. Need to pull back the maximum here. We got Spanky's just 3 field gun opening up, getting a good hit in the T-35. And gonna use the hit of mine. Need to fix up that veteran Panzer crew. Still no sign of any sort of like further stuff than Spanky. No tech, no Stugs, not even a command tank. But again, I do think versus this, like Stugs would be pretty great, or Panthers could also work in theory. Even the Sturm Panzer clear out some of the support weapons. I mean, a Panzerwerfer could also be pretty good counter to the field guns that Luvnest bring out there. So I mean, right now Spanky I think has a lot of options, but I feel like he might be a bit too dead set on the Panzer 4s. At least he has a mortar, but I don't think he's making an awful lot of your use of the smoke. I think efficiently versus Luvnest, I mean, there's been some nice use of attrition, but I'd definitely also like to see some smoke barrages here and there. Finally gained one of the maximums there from Spanky, and we got another tactical movement. I don't know how many he's used by now, but he's definitely used like around 5 or 6, maybe even 7 of them. I mean, he's been very aggressive with it. And again, it's actually, I think, an undervalued ability. So, I mean, it's great to see them actually really put it to use here. But he needs to shoot the Grenadiers. They're being blasted to bits out in the open. Only it's not a maximum being there's the MU-42. And there he goes to his 3 fires. I said fires. There we go, 2 hits on the T-45 there, leaving it a bit dinged up. Another hit there from this is 3 up north. We've got Grenadiers versus MG. Very, very close to 23. And we got the sniper roaming about here with 49 kills. Which is basically, wow. Roughly 1/3 of all Luvnest kills. In fact, with the sniper, it's actually pretty much at equilibrium here with the Spanky in terms of kills. Spanky's just flooding resources now. Fuel and particularly is just not happening. We've got every concept and anything actually hasn't used so far as a command tank, which is quite interesting. Luvnest has, I think, also used most of the stuff here except for the IS-2, though he's actually been close enough to call in an IS-2 versus Spanky, which could give Spanky a bit of a problem since, again, he's only got Panzer IVs. I mean, it's not impossible, but it's tricky. It's tricky. But again, there's just nothing happening with Spanky's fuel right now. Might be calling in the command tank, though, again, with all these T-45s and field guns. And I'm not sure that's going to be fully effective, particularly when he's sending in one of the Panzer IVs on its own. Scheisse. It's a Panzer IV, not a Tiger tank. Though, that's a fun fact, Panzer IVs with armoured skirts were actually commonly mistaken by the Western Allies as Tiger tanks due to the way the sort of profile made them look a bit more like that, and of course just bigger overall. Little fun fact there. Little fun fact there. Got the T-45 moving in there, eventually 9 kills. H-85 on the way for Luvnest, so not IS-2 here, but still the H-85 is going to be pretty good versus Spanky. It's going to be pretty good. And then again, the south got the T-45 moving eventually to 1 gain, maximum crew exposed out in the open for the most part. Easy targets for the tank. Let's go there. Unit wiped up north here by the command tank. Got the T-45 moving in. Panzer IV moving up there to stop this Marxist atrocity. More it comes from Spanky. Yes, I think trying to look for a weak spot here in oh, he hit on mine. And got hit with more there. Bad news there for Spanky's Panzer IV. T-45 moving in here. Rolling aggressively, Panzer IV desperately trying to escape. Interesting enough, he's not pursuing. He might be worried there's something hanging back. And there you go, Panzer IV strength from the north here. Getting the other T-45. But could be at risk. They can turn about here with the H-85 the field guns. Big push here from Spanky. He's not aware what Luvnest got. Though he's not aware. He's running straight into a trap. And there you go, lots of fun. The Panzer IV. In this case, the command tank helps it assault bit in the fire. But even then, it can't absorb that many. And there's not much anti-tank firepower from Luvnest. I mean, that's still 2 field guns and an H-85 on top of the 2 T-45s. And this regard, Spanky's actually got an issue. He can't really match this firepower easily. He's got a field gun and 2 Panzer IVs, but he's got no Stooks, he's got no Panther. He can't really sort of, in most ways that can match this. He's got no packs either. T-45 out maneuvering the field gun, leaving a pretty bad spot, and there you go, field gun barrage wipes out the crew. Spank is also need to get his pioneers still working on the Panzer IV here. In fact, all of them. So right now, Spanky's in a pretty bad position, and Luvnest is in control, making good use of the T-45s and the field guns just to lock down Spanky's armour. Spanky, for the reasons, she's been very content on going for the Panzer IVs, even though I would say this sort of force composition actually gives them a run for their money. In particular, since he also doesn't have any panzer gunners, he lacks any ways to do this quickly, you know, rushing the field guns and clearing them out. Panzer gunner is actually kind of good at that. At least in my personal experience. Luvnest going for 30 for the 45. There you go, got the T for the flowing against the maximum chance of full moving in. Let's engage straight with the HE5. Direct hit here. Close to eventually 3 though. But right now Spanky's barely got any infantry left. His armor's barely operable as well. And Luvnest just bringing up more tanks. For the motherland. At least he finally got the sniper, I guess. That's, I mean, something there for Spanky. He's actually going for another panzer. He's just not bothering with Stoogs at all. Which just seems weird. Panzer IV they're shooting. Yeah, now Spanky's pretty much made use of every ability in the doctrine. That's quite good actually. And again, Luvnest similarly almost the same except for the eyes too here. And there you go, pushing into the base. HE5 not supporting. There we go, support calling in the edge of Spanky's base. T for the HE5 moving in. We got the field, so they got the HE5 here. Command tank immediately torn apart here, but all of the anti-tank fire Luvnest was able to master, and the Panther IV is now the next target. Desperate tank get past, but they can't give enough firepower again. The lack of infantry doesn't help. The T for the obviously is shattering the Panthers alongside the field guns. Then they go just down to 1 Panzer IV. Veteran 3 T for the hero of the Soviet Union, getting Veteran 2, but it's just too late here. Got the ace, got the hero, but ultimately this battle is over. Spanky is dead in the water. Like the Bismarck after its rotor was destroyed. And there you go, GG, game over. A brutal victory in the favour of Luvnest and the Soviet Union, seeing the destruction of numerous fascist panzers. And even the Russian army gloriously triumphant. So a brutal fight right here on Faymonville approach. Some good play from Spanky. Luvnest in the early games, good back and forth. As the game went on, I feel like Spanky just got way too obsessed with a certain strategy, didn't try to react to what Luvnest was doing. Whereas Luvnest, in part again, thanks to just Armoured Assault, they knew what Spanky was doing all along there. So while he had struggles at the same time, he'd always just plan ahead. They could prepare for what Spanky was doing, set up himself with a much better force composition, and just Spanky, for whatever reasons, just refused to just, you know, counter. He didn't bring up Stoogs or try to play any more way. He didn't bring up Panther gunners, he didn't back tech for that matter, no packs. And he didn't even, like, say, try something like going for tier 4, which obviously I'm not necessarily going to say is amazing, but might have yielded better results than just going for Panzer IVs only, when again T-55 is backed up by field guns, locks that down pretty high, as you can see. So an interesting fight then. A lot of levels, again, great use of doctrine by both players as well. So seeing a lot here, I think, interesting going on in this match. So I hope you enjoyed this match. I hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe to your friends, share it with everyone. If not, send a replay and some feedback in the comment section. Links in the video description. You can find my email address. If you do send, do provide details around the leaderboards, who's playing and so on. They don't just send me, you know, a tile and saying cast this, because, you know, I mean, I need to know something about the match if we're going to bother looking at it. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed it. See you all tomorrow though for another exciting episode. Cheers.